Welcome to another edition of the Craig Carton Show. Great to have you here. Tyron Johnson here as always. We brought Ethan upstairs today. You can't see him on camera, but I just need to be in his presence as much as possible. He's supposed to be my buffer. Did no buffering at all for me today. Neither here nor there. We Knicks Spurs coming up. Obviously, Wednesday night, San Antonio, as Knicks continue their assault on the NBA. I don't think it's going to be a sweep, but it might be. So we'll get into that. But today's a very important day, Tyrone, because today is June 1st, and at 4 o'clock today, the June 1st designation for a lot of players in the NFL who you know are going to be traded can now be traded. There's all like cap ramifications and all that.
Yep.
But the number one guy on that list, and I promise we're going to get to the basketball, but this is happening right now. We're 5 hours away, and it's apparently heating up. A.J. Brown, we know this for sure, is not going to be an Eagle this year.
Yes.
That seems to be the accepted fact.
100%.
I believe it. I know you believe it. Everybody in Philadelphia believes it. Now, for the last 6 months, I think we've also believed that he was going to go to New England. Now, that got a little hanky because of the Dana Rossini, Mike Vrabel situation.
Yep.
I know the Patriots still going to go through with that trade, knowing full well that other teams are now going to accuse them of improprieties when it came to a meddling in the availability of a player under contract. So I would not be shocked if the NFL would prefer to see A.J. Brown wind up going somewhere else because of the Rossini Vrabel stuff. But here's what's interesting, and this is why sometimes it's a good lesson for great players. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful for what you manifest. Because right now, A.J. Brown is on a team that is good enough to win another Super Bowl.
Yes.
Okay? Matter of fact, they've been to a couple. He obviously has the one Super Bowl championship with them. And I would tell you right now that if I was going to randomly pick 5 NFC teams that have a legitimate shot today to go to the Super Bowl, I don't care who's making the list, the Eagles are one of those teams. And I feel very comfortable saying that.
Yeah.
I might say if I picked 5 teams in the entire NFL right now, the Eagles would still be on my list as a team with a legitimate shot of going to and winning a Super Bowl. So, A.J. Brown made himself a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
A.J. Brown made it clear that there's no more life with him and Jalen Hurts on the same field or in the same locker room. Fair enough?
That's just a fact.
Okay.
That's true.
So you go to New England, the thought process there is he reunites with Vrabel. You've got a team that just went to a Super Bowl. He can enjoy more success. But I don't think he's going to New England because there's another team, there are 2 of them actually, that made a big push to get him at the draft. And obviously that didn't happen because of the salary cap ramifications. And one of those teams backed out at the time, the LA Rams. Mm-hmm. The Rams might very well be back in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And they're a win-now team, the Rams.
Yes, but there is one team right now that is not win now, but they've got a chip of their own in a great player, not just draft picks, that would entice the Eagles, I think, to make the trade to them as opposed to making the trade to New England, which, as I understood it, was a draft pick only trade, okay?
Yep.
The Cleveland Browns are now on the clock, and there's a lot of smoke right now that the Cleveland Browns have offered the Eagles Myles Garrett in return for A.J. Brown and multiple draft picks. So the only thing the Browns give up is their best defensive player, arguably the best defensive player in football, who redid his contract, and here's why it's got smoke. When Myles Garrett redid his contract, he actually made it easier for him to be traded, okay? You need to have $31 million of cap space available for this upcoming season to acquire the newly re-signed contract of Myles Garrett. So I did a little research. $31 million is the key number. Obviously, anything above that, you're money good. The Eagles made a couple moves this offseason. Nothing of note that outside of Philadelphia you'd care much about, but they did make a couple moves, let a couple guys go like Blankenship, right, and some other guys. Do you have any idea how much money, as we sit here today, the Eagles have available under their cap, knowing again that they need $31 million to acquire Myles Garrett from the Cleveland Browns for A.J. Brown? How much money do the Eagles have available?
I'm going to say $33 million.
No.
All right.
$31 million.
Exactly $31 million.
To the number. Now, I'm at times a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
I also would say that Harry Roseman, for the last 5 years, has been the best general manager in football. I don't think anyone's going to push back on that at all. There's other good ones, but Harry Roseman, I think, has been the best.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a coinkydink that the Philadelphia Eagles have to the penny the exact amount of money they would need to acquire Myles Garrett after June 1st at 4 o'clock?
It is not a coincidence.
Of course it's not.
And it's funny that since this segment started, I put a little text because I can text from this device. Somebody that works for NFL Network that will remain
You can text
nameless.
from what device? Your phone?
No, from my iPad.
Oh, what do you have, the old AOL AIM?
No.
That thing?
No, you have your text messages on there.
No, I don't.
Yeah, well, you can. And someone from NFL Network actually told me what the trade would be if the trade happens. And your framework is mostly right, but the Eagles, instead of adding more picks, would trade young edge rusher Nolan Smith Jr.
I like Nolan Smith Jr.
Right, but you're getting the best.
He just got some trouble, right?
No,
Was
it's
he
not
driving or something?
Yes, he did get in trouble in Austin, but that's not why. The thing is, you don't want to give up all that draft capital. You trade a player who would start for the Browns in the short term, and right in his spot, you get the best edge rusher. So it will be A.J. Brown with Nolan Smith Jr. to the Browns. The Browns would then send Myles Garrett to the Eagles with a conditional pick with that. That would be the trade.
Got it. All right.
If
So
it happens.
I take it from your source, NFL Network, if it happens.
If it happens.
That's better than what New England's offering.
That is absolutely better.
New England's offering draft capital
2028.
For 2027,
2028.
Right? 2028.
Yeah.
Again,
So not next
and
year's
that might
draft, the
become
following.
valuable at some point.
Right.
But Myles Garrett is a player today.
Win now.
And say what you want about the Eagles. Say what you want about Myles Garrett. If I put Myles Garrett on the Eagles' defensive line, come on, it's a wrap.
So now you have Carter, Davis, and Myles
It's the
Garrett.
best defensive line in football and possibly one of the 5 greatest defensive lines in the history of the NFL. And the Eagles have had some pretty badass, Jerome Brown, Reggie White,
right.
Defensive lines.
Clyde
They know
Simmons,
about it.
They were great players.
So that's the deal. It's interesting the way this played itself out because I thought for a long time that the A.J. Brown to New England deal was basically a fait accompli. It was a done deal. It was a wrap. They just had to wait till June 1st because of the salary cap and all that stuff that comes along with it, right? But the Diana Rossini scandal has apparently been powerful enough to force the Eagles to look elsewhere. Because I even think A.J. Brown bought a condo or something in New England. No joke.
Right.
A few months ago because he knew he was going there. It's also why the Patriots said goodbye to Stephon Diggs. I know who's a problem a lot of times off the field and, it's a distraction, this and that. Stephon Diggs had a great year for them, not a good year. He was the best wide receiver. So why are you going to walk away from Stephon Diggs, as big a prime as he might have been, off the field of play, not on the field, obviously, unless you know full well that you're getting a guy at his caliber or better. I think A.J. Brown's better right now.
He is. Yeah.
They're both great wide receivers, obviously. So I think New England thought for a million years they're getting A.J. Brown. Then the Rossini Vrabel stuff happens, and all of a sudden, the last thing you want to be accused of is tampering. And obviously, if Mike Vrabel's not getting fired, he's not, as head coach, the Patriots are going to be accused of tampering. That's going to be a fine. They're going to have to write another check and lose more draft picks. So someone says to Philly, if you go to New England, that's your business, but do yourselves a favor and the league a favor and go look elsewhere. And here's Cleveland sitting there. They know they ain't winning this year. They know that Myles Garrett eventually is going to say, guys, you got to get me out of here, despite the fact that he stayed for all the money in the world to become the highest paid defensive player in the history of football. But now I can acquire not 1 but 2 starters.
Right.
I like Nolan Smith Jr.
Right.
That dude could play.
Right. He'll start for them. He'll help.
I get a defensive starter. I now have a wide receiver 1.
Whoever your quarterback is better now because of him.
And whether it's Deshaun Watson, whether it's Shadur Sanders, they're the only 2 guys I think with a legitimate shot. Not Dylan Gabriel. At least now I've got another weapon, a legitimate weapon, and my defense, while not as good, doesn't take the huge dive off the deep end. So this could be interesting. Keep an eye on it. offered the Eagles. Let me just try to get this right. The Rams have reportedly offered a Ricky Williams-esque type trade for Myles Garrett. So Myles Garrett's in play right now, too.
Yep.
So it's not just A.J. Brown maybe going to Cleveland. This could be the Rams offering everything under the sun to get Myles Garrett and help out that defense. As you said, they're a win-now team. Stafford got the extension. Yeah. Puka's out of rehab now. Yeah. But they are built to win right now. Or as we say in Yiddish, ahora mismo.
You know what's
which might be Spanish.
What's interesting about that, the Rams would obviously become the favorites if they get Garrett. And Puka getting in trouble held off on getting the big extension they were going to do. It ended up saving the Rams a bunch of money.
He was going to get $100+ million.
Right. And now you wait a full year before you pay him because you can't trust him.
Yes.
So that saves them a bunch of money to make this possible.
Today's going to be interesting at 4 o'clock. There'll be other rumors that come out there. I know the New York Giants this morning had 4 veteran wide receivers working out for them. They had Braxton Berrios. Mm-hmm. They had Juju Smith-Schuster and Odell Beckham. There's a fourth guy. I'm blocking on the fourth guy, but a guy of that ilk. Yeah. So of those guys, the Giants also lost their kick returner, punt returner, and fourth wide receiver. What's that dude's name? Tore his Achilles. Oshevsky. Yeah, Oshevsky's out for the year with what they say is most likely a torn Achilles. So they need some depth at wide receiver. Malik Neighbors. I don't know if you guys saw him over the weekend. So Malik Neighbors was in the Brian Burns charity softball game.
We have the video.
You guys have this?
Yeah, we have it.
So I want to show you. This is just one of the videos that's out there. Let it play. Good. Put it up on the screen. This is Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors can't run, guys.
No.
Malik Neighbors is still recovering from that knee surgery. Yeah. They went back in and cleaned it up a second time.
Yeah, the meniscus apparently the second time.
Meniscus and I think the ACL, and he even said it was a lot worse than what they thought when they went in. That's yesterday. Yeah. So that's May 31st. He can't run to first base. So again, he's got all of June, all of July, all of August. But I don't think there's any expectation that Malik Neighbors is ready to play week 1. Maybe week 4, week 5, week 8.
Yeah, he could be a pupless guy.
But, Odell Beckham's going to be a Giant again. I can see them signing Odell Beckham and Braxton Berrios. Braxton Berrios would be the kick return, punt return dude, right? And then you bring back Odell Beckham to be your number 2 wide receiver. The Giants don't have wide receivers right now until Malik Neighbors obviously comes all the way back. Yeah. The Giants, that's what's interesting about the Giants. If you talk about the Giants from a football perspective and not all the nonsense with Abdul Carter and Jackson Dart, the New York Giants don't have a starting cornerback that you can name, right? They don't. All right, their defensive line took a hit because Dexter Lawrence is no longer there. Yeah. Right, he got traded out of town. Yeah. Right, they don't have a great linebacking core. And while their offense is predicated on a second-year quarterback making the leap that great quarterbacks make from year one to year 2, and they have Tyrone Tracy and Scatteraboo as a 2-headed running back, which is a little bit above average, but not great. I still cannot figure out for the life of me why Giant fans think they're a 10-win team. You have no depth at wide receiver. You have no defensive backs. Your defensive line is a hope and a prayer right now.
Offensive line's going to be good, though.
Offensive line, I think, is good and will be better with Mali Agwaga.
Yeah, he's going to help them at guard right away. He's going to, and then he'll play tackle eventually.
And I think Arvell Reese will be a stud on defense, but he's still a rookie. Yeah. So I'm and I'm not being a bad guy, but I'm trying to figure out how the Giants are going to score this year. And this Scatteraboo, I told you, is Amy Winehouse. Did you see what Scatteraboo did this weekend?
No, what did he do this time?
So Scatteraboo signed a 4-year, $5 million contract. Yeah. That was standard for he got drafted, right? Mm-hmm. So let's just break that down right quick. So 4 years, so $1.25 million a year. Mm-hmm. All right? So $1.25 million a year after taxes becomes $50,000 a month. Okay? Yeah. Then don't forget you have to pay your agent his 3%, whatever it is. So let's just say the $1.25 million a year winds up becoming after taxes and after you pay your agent all that nonsense. Let's agree that he's at $35,000 to $40,000 a month. Okay. 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 Let's even make it 40. Make it easy, round numbers. Okay.
$40,000 a month.
So his take home is $40,000 a month again. More than what we make.
Oh, yeah.
Right? More than what the average person makes by a long shot.
Great money, but in this case, you mentioned it's not guaranteed money.
Okay, that is correct. But right now, he's making 40 G's a month, okay?
Yeah.
Cam Scatteraboo just bought diamond grills for his, his front, like the top 6 and bottom 6 teeth.
So those are the faux ones, though. He didn't buy the real ones.
50 grand.
50 grand?
Just dropped $50K on fake diamond grills. Yes. Yes. He is trying. That's what I call it. That's a try hard right there.
Yeah, that is.
We get that you're hip and cool and different. We get that you're like Barney Rubble, and it's very cool for you, and the fans love you. And we get that you're not, even though you grew up a very wealthy guy in a very white, wealthy suburb, we get it.
You're somehow hood.
We understand that you're hood. We know you're trying hard to be hood. It's all good.
You're from the streets. I got it. You're from the streets.
Sure you are.
Got it. From the
streets. No joke, he's a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
He's grew up a multi-millionaire.
Yeah. He's done,
Okay? And by the way, I don't begrudge it. Good for him.
Good for him.
Right? Still has a work ethic of a blue-collar kid, right?
Well, we'll see. See how he rehabs the leg.
$50,000 grills?
Ridiculous. Before we go to break.
Yes.
The Giants did sign Barrios. You were correct.
For real?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. Just happened.
Cha-ching.
I want you to finish your
Like I always say, there's some dudes you watch listen to that know football. And then there's other guys that pretend they know football. You happen to be very blessed right now that you're listening to, watching somebody that knows football.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Know what? Wow, that's such a compliment, Craig.
My
really
gift to you.
Thank you.
I told you when that other dude went down, they need a punt returner and a kick returner.
He fits.
Braxton Berrios, while not a great wide receiver, has been very good at that.
Yeah.
And he doesn't fumble the ball that much. Mm-hmm. So, Braxton Berrios, that's a done deal?
That one's a done deal.
So, 1-year deal, league minimum, I guess?
Yeah, that's what
$2 million bucks?
Yeah.
Whatever it might be.
Yep.
Now the question is, do they also sign Odell Beckham? I think they're gonna.
Well, he makes more sense than Juju Smith-Schuster. Juju, at this point, is solely a slot guy, does not play outside. Odell, in theory, still plays outside. He fits better for what the Giants need.
By the way, if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, I sign him also. Odell Beckham looked great in that flag football game. I know it's hard to judge people on that.
But he seems healthy.
But he could cut and move, and he had a speed right from that. I know he's got hands. I ain't worried about his hands. There's a lot of teams that could use a third wide receiver, a third option, like an Odell Beckham. The Giants need him more than a lot of other teams, though. The Giants have no depth at wide receiver whatsoever.
A lot of people at your station, though, say no.
Just because people at my station say something. Listen, I fight that battle all day, every day. Just because a guy says something, you hear it in your car stereo, don't mean that you should lay any credence to it. I'm the only guy that you should listen to. And take for granted what he says is the gospel. Sorry. Hey there, it's your buddy Craig Carton. If you're trying to find out how to get all the great content that me and Tyrone Johnson give you every single day, here's Tyrone to tell you how.
You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and of course, Amazon Music as well. We're at all 4.
That's right. It's the Craig Carton Show podcast every weekday morning live at 11, replayed at noon on YouTube and on SportsGrid throughout the country. Check it out.
They're trading right now currently at 74 wins on the season, which means the Kalshi marketplace goes by 5-win intervals. 75-plus wins for those Houston Astros. That's a 49% contract to the yes, which a $100 investment pays back $205, Greg. I'm not high on this team. Look, again, 75 wins for the Astros is terrible, but this team might not even look the same as where we stand today by the time we get to that deadline.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
For Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time? And he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
the Great Carton Show, Tyrone Johnson.
All right.
Here as well.
Yes.
I was just coughing up a piece of the lemon biscotti that one of our producers brought back from Italy. But it was a weird thing, just a whole weird situation. I don't even know if I want to get into it, but okay, I will.
Yeah.
So Ryan, one of our two producers, just got married. Beautiful wedding ceremony. Gorgeous wife, by the way.
Yep.
Totally outkicked this coverage.
Completely outkicked this coverage.
Totally outkicked
Absolutely.
this coverage.
Absolutely.
So they waited a couple weeks after they got married because I guess it was less expensive to go to Italy in late May as opposed to mid-May. So in any event, they went to Italy. I see him this morning at about 8 o'clock, 8:30, whatever it was. And he said, I don't want you to think that I came back empty-handed. Mm-hmm. I had no expectation of him bringing me, you, or Ethan back something.
Of course
it's
not.
His honeymoon.
It's honeymoon. Enjoy yourself.
Bring us anything back.
Right.
As long as you were knocking boots the whole time and you come back with an Italian kid inside her belly, you're all good.
Yeah.
So anyway, he says to me, I don't want you to think I came back empty-handed. Throw me that box, Ethan, if you don't mind. Okay, let's see Ethan's throwing skills. Not bad.
Oh, that's a good throw.
Teaches high school girls tennis.
There you go.
I wouldn't let him teach my daughter. But in any event, so he comes back with it's legit. It's in Italy.
Yeah.
Italian. Le dolcezze di nonni, cantucci con limoni.
Oh, look at that.
So
that's straight out of Godfather. That was a good job by you.
Lemon biscotti.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Excuse
In any
me.
event,
Yeah.
so he says, I don't want you guys to think I came back empty-handed.
Yeah.
And he takes out of his backpack, bang, unopened, a bag of lemon biscotti. Yes?
Beautiful.
And I'm like, great. I was in the middle of typing something at the time. I go, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I'll get into it after I'm done my email, right?
Yeah.
And then I look up. He's opening the box.
Wait, who's opening the box?
The guy
Ethan?
that brought the box.
Oh, not Ethan, because I know I didn't open it.
So he opens up the box. There's a plastic bag inside the box.
Oh.
He opens up the plastic bag, and he takes one of the biscotti out for himself.
What?
And I'm like, you didn't bring that for us. You brought it for yourself.
For yourself, yeah.
You just happen to be sharing it with us,
Right.
which again, in and of itself, is very nice.
Yeah.
I'm not a big biscotti guy, but these are delicious. I did try one, and they're delicious. So, cantucci con limone, very good. But I'm sitting there going, wait a minute.
Huh?
You just said I didn't want you guys to think I forgot about you. I brought you a gift. You clearly bought it in the airport. It's got all the trappings of an airport purchase, which is the worst purchase you could ever give someone because it means you're not thinking about them at all.
And it costs
It's an afterthought.
and it costs 3 times as much.
Right, which is why I thought that Mike Vrabel buying his wife that powder blue sweater top was a bogus gift offering.
Of course it was.
Because it's an airport purchase.
Of course it is.
Every woman knows when you get a gift from your man friend, all right, and it was purchased in the airport,
He wasn't thinking.
it's a thoughtless gift
That's
that
true.
I want no part of.
I agree.
That being said, I did enjoy it.
It was good.
And I'm not going to lie about the fact that I enjoyed it. But it was strange to me that you took it out of your bag saying, here, I just wanted you to know, I got you something while in Italy.
Right.
Which I'm very appreciative of.
Of course.
All right? But then he opens it himself and takes the first bite. Like you didn't get a box for yourself?
Of course he did.
Of course you got a box for yourself.
His New York apartment's overflowing with biscotti.
Biscotti everywhere.
It's everywhere.
His
all
mom
over
got
biscotti.
a biscotti. His dad got a biscotti. His 2 much more successful brothers got biscotti. His wife's family got biscotti.
They all got biscotti.
I got biscotti, and now I'm sharing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like some of my biscotti? Probably should have been. Hey, I have some biscotti for myself.
Yeah.
But would you like a piece?
He should have been like, hey, while I was there, I found the most delicious biscotti. I brought some home for myself. I'm going to dip it in my tea this morning, my coffee.
Right.
But if you guys want to try it, I'd love you to try it.
Yeah.
But that's not how he presented it.
Not at all.
He presented it as, I didn't forget about you. I got your biscotti. If it was my biscotti, it wouldn't be open.
It's a good point. Now, being that you're now in your world mode and you have good perspective, because I'm not well traveled, I have a question.
Do it.
You mentioned him hopefully having an Italian baby coming back to the States.
Yes.
How does it work? If he can prove that kid was conceived in Italy, do you think he should be able to petition for dual citizenship for the baby?
He should ask the masseuse that hooked his wife up what his name is so he can start paying child support.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You took that in a direction. And I asked a pure question. You took it to a whole nother world.
Well, you know she got a massage when she was there.
I'm saying
those Italian masseuses, there's no bounds with them.
You
all of a sudden, there's fingers in places they shouldn't be. There's olive oil in places it shouldn't be.
Olive oil?
Oh, yeah.
Not massage oil?
Yeah,
just
olive
pure
oil.
olive oil?
I once had an Italian massage with olive oil. Oh. Yeah.
It's nice?
What happened?
Is it nice?
Until that finger slipped in? Yeah. Yeah, that could be a problem for everybody. In any event.
So no dual citizenship?
No.
Even if you can prove it?
If you can prove it, yes, dual citizenship.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's warranted.
All right.
In any event,
oh my God.
Thank you for the biscotti. I don't want to be a bad guy. I appreciate the gift, and I'm going to enjoy it, unless I have to give it back since it's really yours.
The talk has been about sports betting handle being down or flat, right, because of the threat of prediction markets and the growth of them. But we've seen Kalshi actually kind of plateau for the first time in recent memory. Looking at a graphic right now, we've had the spike for the Super Bowl, and then this is usually when things die down. Yes, there's March Madness, but usually sports betting handle kind of goes down over the course of spring and summer until we get back to football season.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
For Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time? And he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
This is all about headlines, Donnie. If we hear, if that noise gets louder as we get closer, then 45 cents is going to be 65 cents, and that's the repricing we're talking about. I don't need Utah to get them. I need people to think Utah is going to go up and get them, Donnie, and that's how you make money.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
Now we have to endure months of manufactured rumors about will he or won't he retire LeBron James. They are probably, Donnie, working on the Decision 2.0 for Amazon Prime as we speak. Is Jim Gray still around? But here is the beauty of the predictive markets. They make insufferable stories about insufferable people highly profitable.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back. We are now 48 hours away from the start of the NBA Finals. Spurs took care of business against the Thunder, 111-103. Wemby was good, not great, didn't have to be. 22-7, good enough though. They came out of the gate just hot. Oklahoma City caught them a couple times. Actually took the lead. Went up by 4, was their biggest lead in the second half. And then they couldn't. It's like they couldn't hang on. Even the 2 times they took the lead, you're like, the Spurs came right back down 2-3 possessions later, either tied it or retook the lead, and then the Thunder just ran out of gas. But the most concerning thing, I think, for the future of the Oklahoma City Thunder is the one guy that I've never been a fan of, I think has been overrated. I would not have given him the major contract they gave him. I said at the time on FS1 and all the alleged basketball experts like, you don't know what you're talking about. I go, how you like me now, Danny Parkins, my guy. Chet Holmgren took 2 shots.
Yeah.
Like, let that sink in. Max contract, supposed to be the guy that's going to match Wemby. Certainly from a size standpoint, he's right there. And in the biggest game of his life, Game 7 in his own building, not the biggest game of his life. He won a Game 7 in the NBA Finals last year, and they beat the Pacers, but they were a much better team than Indiana.
Yeah.
Obviously, so.
Halliburton was down in that game. So.
In any event, he does have a championship. Let me just be fair and intellectually honest about it. But Game 7 was the next biggest game of his career.
Oh, yeah.
How do you play 40 minutes of basketball plus and attempt 2 shots? Like, I can't wrap my brain around that. All right, for the final 31 minutes of the game that he was in, he did not attempt a single shot.
No.
So that's more than a half of basketball.
Yeah.
That's the entire second half and a good portion of the second quarter. You're an offensive weapon for them. Now, SGA did his job.
Played his ass off.
Carried him.
Yeah, he played his ass
at
off.
40.
Yeah, he played very well.
So I've got no beef with SGA, and he didn't really flop that much either.
No, he just
in
hooped.
Game 7.
He just hooped.
Yes, he played basketball.
Yep,
he fell out a couple times, but
no, he hooped.
not based on what we normally see.
No, he hooped.
And I'm watching that game like I'm sure you are. I'm like, look, Jalen Williams is also doing his damnedest, and he's banged up, right? And I'm watching it, going to myself, man, the other Jalen Williams. Yeah. There's two Jalen Williams on the same squad.
One's
the
out.
second best player's out. The other Jalen Williams who got nicked was obviously carrying his own, right?
Caruso, all those guys out there doing everything they can.
Everybody did their thing.
Except for him.
Bingo.
Except
Even
for him.
Isaiah Carton, who is black.
He is black. Listen, he has to guard. He had to guard Wemby. I mean, he's getting elbowed in the face or whatever. He stuck his nose in there time and time again. He gave them as good all he had.
Yep. So it's just look, and I give the Spurs credit. The Spurs went on the road in a place that most people say they can't possibly win there. I told you I thought the spread was a little weird at 3.5.
Yeah.
That's not a big enough spread for me to have liked Oklahoma City in that game from a handicapping standpoint. That being said, I applaud the Spurs. Now here's the reality for the Spurs. The Spurs, specifically Wemby, who I do have respect for. He's the new face of the league and will be the face of the league probably for a very, very long time because he's 20 whatever years old.
22,
right?
Yep.
He reacted like he won a championship after that game.
Yeah.
Crying, like tears flowing down his face.
Yeah.
The post-game press conference about this great achievement. And I'm looking at it going, my man, you haven't won anything yet.
Right.
Like, yes, great. It's their, believe it or not, it's their first playoff run. First time this Spurs team has made the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely.
With this sort of guys. And they have a lot of talent there. De'Aaron Fox, rock star in Sacramento all those years.
Finally.
Very, very good, right?
Finally getting a little
Obviously, you got Dylan Harper, young player.
That dude's
who
real.
They've counted on a lot in this postseason.
Real, and he's real.
Dude can score. Great, very athletic.
Castle's their best two-way player as far as on the perimeter.
I know he's Rookie of the Year 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I think Castle's the best player nobody knows about.
Yep.
So they got talent. I'm not going to dispute whether
young talent.
Johnson, a coach who I didn't know a lot about before he became the coach, has done a great job with them as well. That being said, I think they reacted to winning the West as if they won a championship. And I think, I would have picked them. And they should be favored in game one. They are about, 4.5, whatever it is, which I expect. They had the better record this year.
At home.
They got through a much tougher West than the Knicks got through an easier East. I can own that.
Knicks likely rusty for game one.
And they're at home.
Right.
And they're still had 9 days off. The last time they had 9 days off, that was their worst game of the postseason. That being said, there is going to be a significant letdown for the San Antonio Spurs. Now, you and I could debate, as these two things butt heads, is the 9 days off worse or not as bad as the emotional letdown that the Spurs are suffering?
Right.
Let's just agree that they maybe cancel each other out.
I can live with that.
All right?
Because they're going from Saturday to Wednesday, so the Spurs won't be tired, and they're too young to be tired. But 4 days and 9 days are very different.
I think the key to the New York Knicks in this series, and I'm going to pick the Knicks to win it in 6. I'll just tell you that right now. I think it's a really good series. I don't think there's a lot of blowouts in this series.
No.
Like in the Spurs Thunder series, every game but 1 and 7 was a blowout on either side. Game 1 was the double overtime game. Game 7 at least was close up until about 3-4 minutes left, and then the Thunder never really got back into it. Right, missed a bunch of shots late. I don't think there's going to be a blowout in this series. I don't. All right, and I'm a diehard Knicks fan. I take the Knicks in 6, but the Knicks have something these other teams don't. The Knicks have the ability to play OG Anunoby on Wemby. He guarded him in the regular season, in the Cup, and in the 2 times they played prior to that. And the Knicks took care of business against the Spurs. They didn't beat the Thunder once this year, but they did a good job against the Spurs. And the reason Anunoby is so important is because while he gives up a foot of size, he's a tough son of a bitch. He's going to guard Wemby well and push Wemby.
Strong as hell.
And by doing that, you open up Karl Anthony Towns, who, when he wants to be, is a top-tier defender, picks up too many silly fouls, and now your next biggest guy on the Spurs is losing the size battle against Karl Anthony Towns. So when the Knicks do that, what the Knicks are saying to the Spurs is, Wemby might get 25 and 12 and 3. I'll just give you random, arbitrary average numbers. But OG's going to beat him up. OG's a man. And then by having Karl Anthony Towns guard your next big man or next biggest player is going to be your power forward, that's an advantage for the Knicks defensively. So this is going to be one of those deals where Wemby's going to score and we're okay with it. We're going to try to keep him away from the basket as much as we can. But who else is scoring in the low post for the Spurs? The answer is nobody.
Now, that's true, but there's also another advantage that the Knicks sneakily have, and I don't want to say this. It's that what they try to do with Wemby, because he roams at that size, it can help so much, they try to put him on Hart. This is where Hart is such an underrated player for the Knicks. On a different team, it's almost like Draymond Green in a way. Draymond worked with Curry and Clay and those guys. He might not have worked so well everywhere else. We've seen Hart other places, but with the Knicks, he's so valuable. When they try to hide Wemby on Hart, all of a sudden Hart goes and sets picks for everybody, and it frees downhill drives for everybody else, which leads to open threes. So if I'm the Spurs, my adjustment is at times try to just put Wemby on Cat straight up. Because
I think they want that for sure. I agree.
Yeah, but what they have it in the regular season.
Because he'll also pick up fouls.
Right, but they put him on Hart, and that actually led to a lot of wide open shots for the Knicks in the cup and in the regular season.
You're also going to see Josh Hart guard Wemby away from the basket. Because while Wemby, for a big guy, has great handle, his handle is not like your guard's.
No, not
and
especially not
yet. He has great handle for a big man.
But he's 7'5".
Josh Hart. Do not be surprised if you see Josh Hart picking Wemby up 94 feet. All right? And if they have Wemby outside, Hart takes him, and then a switch when Wemby comes down low in the post, then they switch over to OG. That's how I would do it. And I think that's how the Knicks are going to do it as well.
Also, I got to ask you about...
I like the Knicks.
I got to ask you about Brunson, because the defensive questions coming into the playoffs have not happened so far. But with the emergence of Harper at 6'6", playing guard for them, I do wonder who he guards. Do you put him on Castle? Do you put him on Hart? Do you put him on Vassell? Or Champagne? I don't know what they do with him.
I think he probably starts
it's going to be something.
Harper's probably coming off the bench, I imagine.
Probably, yeah.
So I have to see what the rotation is.
In the meat of the game, he's been finishing games. And I'm interested to see who Brunson's guarding in the fourth quarter of these games, because it has not been an issue, but I'm sure the Spurs are going to try to hunt him.
Yeah, and the only way for Harper to really get over on Jalen Brunson is not through a power game. He's got to beat him off the dribble with speed. And he's faster, he's more athletic, I'll give you that. But if it gets it to, I think I'm going to back him down, he's not.
No.
But if he wants to beat him off the dribble, then I think he can have a good afternoon. Hey there, it's your buddy Craig Carton. If you're trying to find out how to get all the great content that me and Tyrone Johnson give you every single day, here's Tyrone to tell you how.
You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and of course, Amazon Music as well. We're at all four.
That's right. It's the Craig Carton Show podcast every weekday morning live at 11, replayed at noon on YouTube and on SportsGrid throughout the country. Check it out.
On the season, which means the Kalshi marketplace goes by 5-win intervals. 75-plus wins for those Houston Astros. That's a 49% contract to the yes, which a $100 investment pays back $205, Greg. I'm not high on this team. Look, again, 75 wins for the Astros is terrible, but this team might not even look the same as where we stand today by the time we get to that deadline.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
That's for Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time? And he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
to the Craig Carton Show. Great to have you here. Sad news today in the world of sports in Los Angeles. I know if I was doing sports talk in L.A., like my main man Cody Decker and Derek Fisher, the Decker and Derek show, is that what it's called? Derek and Decker?
Derek and Decker.
Derek gets top billing over my guy, Cody Decker.
That's right.
I know what my lead would be today.
I mean, listen, it is what it is.
Yeah, I know. Derek Fisher's, I guess, more well-known.
5 rings.
Is he?
5 rings with the Lakers.
5 rings?
Yeah, yes, 5.
What? Derek Fisher's got 5
He
rings?
got 5 rings with the Lakers. 5.
That's right. He played with
the
Kobe.
Lakers.
My bad.
Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Those guys just started sports talk out there. I know they're doing great. I know I would have led with this today. The Los Angeles Lakers are prioritizing re-signing Austin Reeves over LeBron James. That's called competent basketball right there. They're going to give Austin Reeves $40 million a year.
What a mistake.
For the next 5 years. And that is a more important deal for them than bringing back the clown show.
41-year-old
and the king of all flopping
LeBron.
in LeBron James. Meaning LeBron James will not be a Los Angeles Laker next year. He will be divorced from his son. I'm not sure how that works itself out and if he's allowed to cut that cord because I'm not sure if Bronny's allowed to do anything without being attached to his pops. And at some point, as a 20-something-year-old, don't you kind of want to live your own life?
Yeah.
At some point.
And he doesn't live with him.
You can't live in a pool house forever,
No,
right?
he doesn't live with him.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I get you.
Like at some point, look.
Although.
You know dad's always there for you.
Yeah.
You know the money's always straight. You know you always have a roof to live under.
Yeah, you're good.
You know you can probably borrow a jet if you need to.
Yeah.
Right, but at some point, I want to be a man.
Yeah.
I want to be my own man. I left house when I was 18. I never went back home. Now, I also had a different relationship with my parents. They didn't like kids or me.
They get along a great deal. And LeBron did this in large part because
they have a great relationship.
Yeah, because he missed things traveling and stuff. He's like, I get my son around.
Although you remember when the great Harry Kalas, his son Todd, started doing games for the Phillies. And one would think that Harry, the legendary Phillies broadcaster, would be thrilled to have his son with him on the road while he was in his late 60s and or into his 70s. But that's not how Harry reacted to that at all. He was actually upset about it.
Yeah, I think Todd does Nationals games now.
He might.
He's somewhere.
He was decent, by the way.
He does do games.
Hard to be a Kalas in Philly and not be Harry. But anyway, I remember Harry telling people, now the kid's going to know everything I do on the road, and that's not going to be good for anybody. And he was not happy that his own son was now going on road trips with the Phillies. But in any event, LeBron's going somewhere.
Yeah.
The question is, knowing it's going to be a 1-year contract, and it looks like he's not going to be a Laker anymore after this year, and that makes sense. The Lakers need to move on from him, and it didn't work out this year. The question then becomes, what's the most likely destination on a 1-year deal for LeBron James? Now, one place that immediately comes to mind would be Cleveland.
Yeah.
Obviously, Cleveland's got there's a player option on the Harden deal. Mitchell's got another year in his deal. All right. Would you go back to Cleveland and try to end it where you started it and try to win another championship with the thought process being, hey, the Cavs just lost to the Knicks in the Eastern Finals, pardon me, right? If I go there and they can hang on to Harden and Mitchell, we have a chance to maybe end a champion.
I do not do that because of Harden.
Okay, so take Cleveland off, all right?
Because of Harden, if I'm him.
Okay.
Now, if Harden was gone, yes.
Okay.
Him and Mitchell.
He's not going back to Miami. Pat Riley can't stand him.
And he
well
doesn't like, and
documented.
he hates Pat Riley.
And I don't think
it's mutual.
I don't think he would be good enough anyway. Then and I'm just thinking East because the East is an easier road to the final, even with the Celtics being back with Tatum and Brown.
But I don't think he's going East.
You think he's staying West? You think he's going to Golden State?
I think he's going North in California.
Sacramento.
And goes, to the Warriors.
Oh, to the Warriors.
North from L.A. to the Warriors.
Got it.
And to me, which it lines up in the West is the Thunder trying to regroup. They're going to make some changes. This young Spurs team emerging. And then do the old Warriors have one last stand?
The answer is no.
Curry and LeBron together. That's what you say now.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, the basketball IQ in a 7-game series with Curry, LeBron, and Draymond is a problem for a lot of teams.
Not in a 7-game series.
Yes, it is.
That is
because they adjust as the series goes. Those guys, I tell you what, if LeBron was on Cleveland, you agree, they win that game 1. They would not have beat the Knicks. Game 1, they win if LeBron's on Cleveland.
I think that's a fair guesstimate.
Yeah, they win that game. It's about those kind of things. Those guys won't make the mistakes that other guys will. They're a problem.
The problem with that team is that's not a good defensive team. It's not an athletic team. It's not a young team.
Yeah,
right?
And what do you put with them?
And what do you put with them, obviously, too?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of talent there right now. Look, Steph Curry is one of the greatest of all time. LeBron is as well. That'd be cool if you told me we were like having old timers day. If the NBA was going to do like what baseball does in a lot of franchises, like the Yankees used to bring back Mickey Mantle and Joe DiMaggio, like all the greats would actually come back, put on the uniform, and they'd play again, like for years and years and years, right? Mm-hmm. That to me would be an old timers day. Draymond Green, who the only thing he's got going from now is his mouth, which doesn't stop running. Who even came out again this weekend and said Jalen Brunson hasn't proven anything. Like, come on, man.
He's hating at this point.
Like, look, you could say the Knicks are going to lose to the Spurs. The Spurs are favored. Mm-hmm. I got no problem if that's your pick. Spurs are a damn good basketball team. I think it's going to be a hell of a series. But you can't come out and say because you're desperate for clicks or desperate for media relevance or you're really hoping that ESPN replaces Shaq with you one day or Barkley with you one day, that Jalen Brunson hasn't proven anything and the Knicks have no chance to win. It's just stupid. Like, I'll tell you, take out my fandom out of it. Jalen Brunson has proven now, I don't know, God knows how many times he's had to prove it, that he's a top 10 player in the sport. And the problem people have with him is that he's not flashy. He's not a me guy. He's not a flopper. He gets some calls, I'll give you that. But he's not a complainer. He's not in the ref's ear the whole game. He's not flashy. He's a blue-collar superstar. And what he's done to carry the Knicks to back-to-back East Conference Finals and now at NBA Finals and be the best clutch fourth-quarter player we've seen since Michael Jordan in the NBA.
Yep.
He ain't got nothing left to prove. So now you could sit there with your rings. You got them. I don't begrudge that. You're a champion.
He got a bunch
and
of those.
And you were a big part of him as well.
Yep.
No one begrudges you that. But you're also successful based on, where you were born in the NBA.
Yeah.
Draymond Green on New Orleans,
Nothing.
You've never heard his name.
Nothing.
Draymond Green on Charlotte, you wouldn't know his name.
He'd be out of the league by now.
Right.
He'd be out of the
Draymond
league.
Green in that specific position with that specific team is going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
But we got to stop this nonsense from people saying that Jalen Brunson hasn't proven anything. He's proven to be as good or better than anybody in the league. That's what he's proven. And that's why the Knicks are going to win. real quick. Let's play the number game.
Yeah.
Which number is more impressive to you? 1.5 million people or 118,000 people?
I'm going to go.
I'm not giving you the context on purpose.
I'm going to go 1.5 million.
Yeah, I would have said the same thing, not knowing the context.
Yeah.
So North London, Arsenal had a parade. I don't know why, but they won the Champions League. Great.
No, they won. The Arsenal won the Premier League. They lost the Champions League. They lost to PSG over the weekend in penalties. It was incredible.
Gosh, I wish I had seen that. Damn it. My life will never be the same.
I'm telling you missed out. It was incredible.
Anyhow.
But it's because they won the Premier League.
Arsenal parade in North London, 1.5 million people showed up.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive when you consider how fragmented even London is about soccer. 1.5 million for one individual club. Very impressive.
Now, the reason I bring that up to you is because, and I'll get to the other number in a second, is because I went on with Dan Dakich on Outkick this morning.
Yeah.
He asked me an interesting question. He said, with all the ticker tape parades New York has had down, we call it here, it's called the Canyon of Heroes.
Yeah.
Okay, and look, we've honored, war veterans, astronauts. Political leaders of other countries have been feted down the Canyon of Heroes. We even did a parade for women's soccer.
Yeah.
Like we'll have parades.
As they should have. They won the gold medal.
We'll have parades, right?
Won the World Cup.
The last real sports parade that people cared about, 2011 New York Giants, about 1 million people showed up. The one before that, New York Yankees beat your Phillies 2009. Same, about 1 million people, they claim, showed up along the parade route.
Yeah.
So 1.5 million people in North London show up for the Arsenal parade. Awesome. You saw the video right there. If the Knicks win the championship, because remember, don't forget, the Knicks are the only team in New York, they don't share a fan base.
Right.
Everybody's a Knicks fan.
Yep.
Okay? I think we're looking at double that.
Yes, I agree. And also,
I think we're looking at the largest parade, and we've had parades since like the 1800s in New York. I think we are looking at the largest parade in the history of New York City.
Yes.
Bigger than Thanksgiving, Macy's Day.
Bigger than all of them.
Bigger than St. Patty's Day. Bigger than the gay parade.
It'll be
bigger than the Puerto Rican parade.
Yeah.
Bigger than the Israeli parade yesterday.
Yeah.
Bigger than Yankees. Bigger than Mets in '86.
Way
I think
bigger.
the Knicks will be the biggest parade in the history of parades.
Yes, and I've also got an invitation to go. I can't wait.
You're not going.
I am going.
I have people looking for you.
No, and the people are on board with it. I talked about this on Thursday when you were out.
Good.
It's actually doing okay on social media, too.
That you're going to the New York parade?
Tens of thousands of people have approved it already in New York.
Is that
Tens
right?
of thousands of people
Are you
have
going
approved
as I appreciate and respect the Knicks, or as a Philadelphian looking to find something wrong with the parade?
No. I'm going because I believe it's going to be the greatest party.
100%.
And I'm not missing that party. So I'm going to be at the parade.
So you're a Big Show Bob.
Well,
yeah, and what I mean by Big Show Bob is if there's something big happening, you have to be there.
I have to be there for that
Big
level.
Show Bob.
I'm seeing what's happening when they won the first round.
Let me ask you
the second round. I got to be at the parade. I got to be there.
Assuming you go to a parade with a flask, what beverage of choice is in that flask?
I will definitely put tequila in that.
You're a tequila guy? Okay.
Yes, that's what I will put in that flask.
All right, well, when it happens, I've got a street corner already mapped out.
Yeah.
So you're welcome to join me there. The more the merrier.
Perfect.
We're here to party.
Perfect.
And I can also tell you this. I ain't working that day.
Well, what they'll do is
I'm telling you guys all right now.
Yeah.
Because that is, I'm still under contract when that day happens.
Yeah.
I'm telling Red Seat, who I love to death, and Fox, who I love to death.
Yeah.
I'm absentee that day. That's a vacation day for the kid.
Right. You'll come on the day after the championship to talk about it.
Day after, yes.
But that won't be parade day.
No.
Yes.
Parade day is usually 2 or 3 days later.
Right. And I will then fill in and do the show.
And then meet me out there.
And meet you out there. I have to be there. I have to be there.
I'll save you a
for
spot.
something of that degree. But why'd you bring up that other number?
Yeah,
real
the
fast?
118,000 number, which is interesting to me, is Kanye West. Sold out a stadium concert in Istanbul,
Well, see, there you go.
which I believe is in Turkey still.
Yeah, so there you go.
118,000 people attended the Kanye West show in Istanbul. And look, Kanye West was off his rocker, especially when he's not on his meds, and said a lot of very objectionable things.
That also helped them.
I will say,
there.
for sure, there's a bunch of anti-Semites in Turkey.
Yeah,
no
so
doubt
they're
about it.
going, whoa, he's
like,
one of us.
He hates Israel?
Uh-huh.
I'm
there.
I don't even know a song he sings.
Right.
That being said, if you're one man on a stage, which is basically what he does, and you don't see the band or the DJ or anything else,
that's just him.
Because I saw Kanye at the Garden years ago.
It's him.
When Rihanna opened up for him, okay? it is essentially Kanye West on stage. And while I find a lot of what he said to be objectionable and reprehensible, on and on and on, that's crazy.
Crazy.
For us, for I don't even know today if there's another guy who could do that. Like Drake just set a record, broke Michael Jackson's record.
Yeah, but he couldn't do that.
Most number ones of all time.
Couldn't do that.
I'm not sure that Drake gets 118,000 people. Now, maybe in the Middle East, yes, like an Abu Dhabi type thing, or maybe even out in Istanbul. But I was trying to think, is there a performer alive today, and maybe we'll get into more tomorrow, that could pull 118,000 people? Crazy.
Crazy. Jay-Z
right?
sold out Yankee Stadium over 2 days, but
2
not
days.
one.
Have a great day. We've got much more coming up this week. Hey there, it's your buddy Craig Carton. If you're trying to find out how to get all the great content that me and Tyrone Johnson give you every single day, here's Tyrone to tell you how.
You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and of course, Amazon Music as well. We're at all 4.
That's right. It's the Craig Carton Show podcast every weekday morning live at 11, replayed at noon on YouTube and on SportsGrid throughout the country. Check it out.
They're trading right now currently at 74 wins on the season, which means the Kalshi marketplace goes by 5-win intervals. 75-plus wins for those Houston Astros. That's a 49% contract to the yes, which a $100 investment pays back $205, Greg. I'm not high on this team. Look, again, 75 wins for the Astros is terrible, but this team might not even look the same as where we stand today by the time we get to that deadline.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
For Abdul Carter. Hey, son, you want to be a leader? Show up to meetings on time. Don't be late to practice. This guy's sitting there trying to tell me that he's got a problem with Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally when he can't even show up to a meeting on time? And he can't show up to practice and he's late? Dude.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.